I saw Dee at work, he said you asked if I slept in his bed with you as you woke up alone. I did, and you stole all the covers. Before I left, I asked you the postcode so I could figure out how to get to work. Do you remember? When we got into the Uber heading to the Two Brewers gay club that Dee had insisted going to, you told me with endearing drunken conviction how excited you are about becoming a psychologist and doing research into forensics. You predicted that we're going to be famous scientists and cite each other's research in our own. I hoped that you're not going to try to kiss me when you're this intoxicated. There's something especially unnerving about being intimately engaged by someone who's not fully there. You kissed my cheek, in the most unimposingly platonic way, a bit like the way you kissed Dee. Minutes into the journey, Dee explained to me that you're soulmates and life partners, even though he's gay. But despite this, he said he knows that the person he's going to marry is a transgender person with a cock. He said he feels an intense connection with transgender individuals, but they have to be masculine presenting. He said he hopes you won't take it the wrong way because you identify as non-binary, but you're feminine, you're a woman, and he needs someone with a cock. He said, if you're a man, that would be lovely, but he loves you the way you are, and right now you are still his partner that he shares his bed with. I thought then that I'm either witnessing utter countercultural profundity or absolute bullshit. A rare courage to pursue a complicated partnership, or mere mundane codependence. Maybe a bit of both. I wondered whether I would be able to tell the difference if I was as perceptive as my mother. To these comments, you replied that you're not offended at all, and you love being a woman. Dee then added that he loves being gay, and when he was little, his Christian mother told him that his gayness was a gift from God. I felt happy for him, even though that kind of mother's love is the minimum that every person deserves. In the club, you got me a drink even though I refused the offer. And Dee became so engrossed in conversation with two other men about spiritual experiences of sorts that he wasn't engaging with us, so we left him to go to the bathroom. We wouldn't find Dee again for about 3 hours. We stood at the bar and you took selfies of us and just yourself, which you promptly Snapchatted. I tried out of sheer vanity not to look like I have work in the morning and I did not really want to be there, still optimistic that I may get some sleep that night. And then you are out. It took me a few minutes of awkwardly declining Jaeger bombs from strangers to notice, but you were leaned over the bar with your eyes closed, and after trying unsuccessfully to get you to respond, the barman threatened to call security. I relayed this information loudly into your ear, and you made your way out into the smoking area. You sat onto the ground, hugging your knees, and attempted to roll a cigarette with damp rolling papers. You gave me your cigarette, and even though I don't smoke, you refused to take it back. I gave it to a drunk gay man. He looked at your shoes and decided that we must be into fashion, so he zealously insisted that we check out Vogue's September issue. And then he started talking about his traumatic childhood when his mother used to lock him up in the cupboard until his dad came home. He knelt down next to you and started sweeping your platinum blonde hair across the mosaic of burn scars covering your bare shoulders and telling you that you're stunning. This clearly disturbed you. You curled up into a ball and started shoving him away with your arm. I took his place next to you and put my arm around you. When I started rubbing your back, you shoved me away too, so I stopped. Another drunk man came over and started blessing us by touching our shoulders with a plastic sword. At this point, a night marshal led us away from the smoking crowd for your safety. As we moved away, the drunk gay man implored me to tell you you're beautiful, like his self-esteem depended on inflating yours. We sat on the pavement adjacent to the club, and you started to empty the contents of your bag one by one to find your tobacco filters and rolling papers to begin your second attempt at rolling a cigarette. As there was no possibility of engaging with you, I just watched you. You had dirt on your knuckles from propping yourself off the ground, goosebumps on your thighs from the cold, mascara-streaked tears down your cheeks, and liquid snot dripping from your septum nose ring. I offered you a tissue, but you shook your head. And when that didn't work, you blew your nose into your about-to-be-rolled cigarette. Then you reached over and wiped the disintegrated aftermath onto my woolly hat sitting at the top of my bag. I thought about how my grandma would feel if she knew what fate would befall her lovingly knitted creation. In a tone of suppressed existential despair, I asked you to please not do that, more out of principle than any real attempt to assert boundaries. Following another audit of your bag, you rolled another cigarette. You asked me if I have fire, forgot my response, then asked me again. After a few minutes of watching drunk people trample over their inhibitions with cement-filled stilettos and the heroes of the night doing their best to prevent anarchy from descending upon London, someone eventually offered you a light. Half your cigarette burnt off as there was hardly any tobacco in it. You tried several times to call Dee to no avail, then muttered something about being sick of waiting for him, and when I suggested we look out for him, you mumbled something along the lines of, "They won't believe anything I say." I offered to hold your hand and you held it out. I enclosed it in both of mine and I felt relieved, like there was good reason to have gambled the night away. I left you with a night marshal to look for Dee, and when I returned without him, they had lost you and said you ran off. Just when I was about to resort to plan C and go home, Dee appeared, and by some cosmic luck, we found you too, with a seedy Asian man who assured us he's not going to get you high, just take you for a drink. Dee gave me his keys and address, made you agree to get into a taxi, then returned to the club. I did sleep in his bed with you, and you stole all the covers.